Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another epic battle in Napoleon Total War. This is the vanilla Napoleon, so there are no mods attached, and it was a 2 vs 2 fought inside a valley that is encompassed completely by canyons, so it makes for some very close quarters fighting, so I do hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's take a look at the army comps. The first army that we're going to take a look at is the Netherlands, and this one is commanded by myself. And the Netherlands has a pretty limited roster. It's the first time I've ever played as them, but there wasn't really much to choose from, so you're going to see a lot of the same units. But for my main line infantry, I've brought 8 units of line infantry. And for my skirmishers, I brought 4 units of these Dutch flankiers. I don't know how to pronounce that because I have no idea what the Dutch language would sound like. But I've also brought some good cavalry here. I've got a couple units of hussars, actually 3 units of them. My general's bodyguard is back here. He's David Henrik Chasse. So this would be him right here. Or scratch that. Probably that would be him there because the gold probably trumps the silver. I also have 1 unit of artillery. The 12-pounder foot artillery. And way over on this flank, for my last units, I've got 3 units of grenadiers. So they're going to kind of push on the flanks along with the hussars. So that is it for my army comps, so let's go ahead and take a look at my ally. The next army on the battlefield today is Sweden, commanded by the Red Celt, and it was surprising because the Red Celt always plays as England, so it was a nice treat that he's playing somebody else today. But he's brought 4 units of Jaegers here as light infantry, and he is pushing very hard to capture this hilltop. He's also got 4 units of Lifeguards of Horse, which is a very elite cavalry. So definitely interested in getting up to the hilltop quickly and claiming it for himself. He's also got 2 units of 6-pounder horse artillery moving up. His main infantry here, he has 5 units of line infantry, and how they're situated just looks epic. I love these long columns as they march up the hilltops, the Swedish flag flying in front. Very, very cool. He's got more Lifeguards of Horse, but that is in the 4 total I told you about. And his general over here is nicely tucked away. I believe it's this gentleman here, the general's staff. And that is it for the Swedish player, so let's go ahead and take a look at the enemies. The first enemy army on the battlefield today is Russia, commanded by Swordlocks, and you can see that he is also very intent on capturing the hill. A lot of his forces are being pushed up the slopes to engage the Swedish. He's got 3 units of Russian Jaegers coming up the hilltop. He also has 1 more unit down below. He has 4 units of musketeers, 2 units of 10-pounder unicorn, 1 again coming up the hilltop, and another 10-pounder staying below. This is more of his musketeers. He's also got 2 units of these Opel Sherry units, so I'm not sure if they're like a line infantry unit, but more elite. Feel free to weigh down in the comments below about this, because I also don't play Napoleon very often, just because I suck at it. But looks like Swordlocks has also got some mounted rifles here, and he's bringing some Cossack cavalry as well. For his the rest of his forces, he's got his general staff here, and 2 units of Lifeguard foot, which are very elite. And then he's got some cuirassiers as well. I think that's how you pronounce it. But Russia is just such a nice faction. Probably one of my most favorite factions to play in Napoleon. A lot of people do go for France or England, but I think Russia is just so nice. It's so rich in heritage and such, but I'm just not very good with them. Although that's really not Russia's fault, because I'm actually not really good at the game in general. So, but that is it for the Russian player, so let's go ahead and take a look at the last enemy army. The final enemy army on the battlefield today is Denmark, commanded by Akjabur, and I hope that's how I pronounce your name, man, if you are watching. I do apologize if it's not. But in the front lines, he's got 2 units of 12-pounder foot artillery, so everybody bringing 2 artillery except for me. I don't know if that'll be a good thing or a bad thing, but he's also got 2 units of sharpshooters here. And then he's brought 4 units of line infantry for his main staple line. And he's also got 2 units of Lifeguards of foot. He's brought a lot of cavalry as well, having a couple units of lifeguards of horse, which is, I think, the best cavalry you can bring for Denmark. And he's also got earnest payment for his general. He's also focusing over on this flank as well, so my grenadiers will be coming down this way, so he's got a few units of grenadiers to face my units as well. We've already seen the lifeguards of horse, but he's also got a unit of dragoons as well. These guys looking really nice. But that's all for the army comps, so without further ado, let's get to the battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and I pushed forwards my light infantry to engage against Denmark and Russia's light infantry. I've got them in the trees here, so they've got a pretty decent cover. And you can see that Denmark's sharpshooters here kind of getting cut down. Now, they're only a unit of 80, so these two units focusing them with 120 in each are starting to whittle them down. However, Russia over here has got a couple units of their Russian Jaegers down here to help keep things in line. Over here, we had a charge from the Russian Cossacks towards the cavalry, but they were actually killed by the Swedish. And now it looks like we've got some Swedish lifeguards of horse moving forwards, but yeah, it looks like the Red Celt's going to change his mind there, because that would be utter suicide to try to charge in over on that flank. However, it looks like we've got some Russian cavalry coming over here, but we've got some canister shot. Oh my goodness, really depleting the Russian cavalry. And look at that, they broke even before they reached the artillery. That is horrible. We've also got a unit of musketeers that was coming to engage the lifeguards of foot, but they decided against it. The lifeguards of foot being much more elite. Way over on this flank here, I've got my grenadiers that are pushing forwards. Oh my goodness. Yeah, one of the units of horse artillery, if I can zoom in, you see them over there. They're focused in on my grenadiers here. He has some grenadiers in the trees as well, and they're actually lined up much better than mine are. Mine are pretty blobbed up. And as you can see from looking through the forest, we barely got any shots that are hitting its mark. Only a couple poking their heads above the ground line there. Goodness, so much shaking. But yeah, he's definitely got the better position. I'm going to have to sort that out. But over on this flank, I feel like I'm doing okay. I've pushed forwards my line infantry into range to fire at his line infantry. You can see we're getting some good shots because I'm using my line infantry and my lights in tandem to help maximize the kills that I'm going to get against them. The problem is, though, is that I'm facing Russian troops as well. And we've got the line infantry here, and we've got the lifeguards of foot just waiting to engage. And a lot of Russian infantry is still here. He's got some Opelshin. He's got some musketeers. His 10-pound unicorn is down here, so it's basically one gun against three at this point. But the Red Celt over there, he had been making some headway. It looks like he is moving some of his Jaegers around the flanks. And his main infantry, his line infantry, is just cresting the hill now. I think he was a little bit slow to come up the hill with them just to make sure that he was able to get a good position first off. But actually, where is that Russian cannon? Okay, no, they're firing over there. I was going to say, is 4 cannons firing down at me? If you guys see that black smoke over there, I think that one of Akibir's units of grenadiers threw their grenades in the trees, but it ended up with a lot of friendly fire with him, unfortunately. And there we go. I tried to charge my Cossacks there into the grenadiers, but they managed to form square just in time. I'm trying to get some good zoom-ins for you guys in the trees, but it's a little bit difficult when that artillery is firing down. He also has his other unit of grenadiers here as well, and they're getting a pretty good shot into my cavalry. I was microwaving elsewhere in the battlefield and didn't notice that that square was being engaged. Oh, yeah. And I think he has his cavalry over here as well. He's got Norwegian ski troops, and I thought he had some dragoons. Oh, okay, they're held back a little bit for now, so they are not engaging at this point. However, I feel like the line battle is going my way. The line infantry for Denmark is getting quite depleted. You can see that my lines are also looking a little rough, though. Luckily, as I said, my Dutch flankier here are really helping to keep my line infantry in check, but just with the amount of artillery fire coming down. And look at this here. Oh my goodness. Is this canister shot? Where is the artillery that they have? It's this one here. That is a huge hit on my men. I actually didn't even notice that during the battle, losing so many of those men there. Down to 54 and 44 from my unit of line infantry. Wow. That is pretty awful. And yeah, a lot of my line infantry is now starting to get torn apart. I think that we will see the lifeguards of foot moving in very shortly. Up on the hill, it's more of a skirmish. Not much is going on in the way of charges and countercharges. Like I said, we did see that one cavalry unit that got destroyed by canister shot. And it looks like we've got the 6-pounder horse artillery moving very close. I wonder if the Red Celt wants to try and use canister shot here. But moving into range of those Russian Jaegers is a risk. Oh, but here we go. We've got some of the Swedish cavalry actually charging into this unit of Russian infantry. And unfortunately, they did not form square in time. So that is a tough sight to see. He's trying to get his light infantry out of there as well, but they are getting caught by the cavalry. And I don't think that these musketeers can form square. So a well-placed charge could end this unit of musketeers. However, they're just going to sit there and fire point blank at the cavalry. I'll go ahead and isn't there a way I can minimize this? There we go. Just so you can see a little bit more of the battle. I've left the unit cards on so that you guys can see what's going on basically in the whole battlefield. From this vantage point, you can see even all the way to the other side of the battle, you can see that my grenadiers are now engaged in melee against the Denmark grenadiers, and I am breaking him over there. And he's only got a unit of grenadiers and his ski troops left to hold out. Looks like the Swedish cavalry is going to try and retreat. However, one of them is breaking. And, yep, line infantry holding out here. Here we go. We've got the lifeguards of foot, the elite lifeguards of foot pushing forwards. And probably going to fire right into the backs of my lights. Yep, there we go. A couple of them falling there. It was quite annoying because as I was trying to micro and he pulled the unit of line infantry back, these guys who were set to attack them actually followed them pretty much right into the face of these lifeguards. Or the lifeguards of foot. So that's a very tough unit of infantry. However, we've got another unit of lifeguard of foot moving over on this flank. And I'm getting some good shots with my line infantry on that unit. And there we go. I think he realizes this is not a place that he wants his unit to be. It's open to outflanking and that kind of stuff. So he decided to pull it back. Again, pretty poor positioning with this unit. I realized that, so I quickly move it around the side of the building, because basically only a quarter of the unit could fire on each side and get effective shots. But I'm struggling over here. I know that the Swedish were trying to help me with their cavalry, but it has broken. And again, all of this Russian infantry here is really causing me some trouble. But I am winning on this flank here, which is good. Again, the Grenadiers trying to get a good position. Looks like the Norwegian ski troops here. Oh, man. That was the grenades going off. Oh my goodness, we're like staring right at each other, and they're throwing more grenades. Guys, plug your ears. This could be loud. Oh, yes. Wow. And there we go. It looks like they charged into melee now. I'm hoping that this isn't too loud for you guys. I feel like I'm kind of yelling here in the recording, but Napoleon is so much louder than other Total Wars that I try to record. So I did test my settings beforehand, but I didn't test my settings as I was yelling over cannon fire. But there we go. My light units have used up all their infantry, so I moved them in to engage the line infantry. Over here as well, this line infantry unit is pretty depleted, but unfortunately my line infantry unit decided to readjust like this. Don't know exactly why. It looks like they're trying to fire onto this unit, but I quickly fixed that and get them back into formation. But unfortunately now my unit is just as hard up as this unit. And there we go. So must have been a misclick or maybe just miscommunication on my part, but that's another unit of line infantry gone. However, I push forwards my second 4 units, so I've got another battle line. And this unit of lifeguards is quite depleted. I'm doing quite well on that side. Over in the center as well, really racking up the body count against these lifeguards as well. We haven't focused much on what's going with the Swedish, just because the Swedish and Russians, like I said, still very skirmish phase-like, with a couple of rapid advances from either side to try and gain the upper hand. But it looks like we've got some Russian musketeers breaking over here. We've got the one unit of musketeers trying to hold this entire flank, which is definitely not going to work out. The Swedish Jaegers alone should be able to destroy this unit. However, well-placed unit of musketeers down here. You can see they're actually firing from across the river. So well done by Swordlocks there, getting a really good position. I think the Red Celt realizes that, and he's moving his lifeguards of foot to engage them. Either that or to hide them. But we've got more lifeguards of horse charging down here against the cuirassiers, or the cuirassiers. But I'm not sure if he knew this, but there's stakes here, so a lot of his cavalry is getting slaughtered on the stakes. So yeah, not good there. But on the plus side, my units have broken through on this flank. And I'm going to move in to engage the sharpshooters. Ever wary of these dragoons over here, though, these light dragoons, because I do not want to lose my units of grenadiers too quickly. I'm quickly trying to move my unit of hussars over here. I should have had them closer, but unfortunately I wasn't really paying attention there. There we go, broke that unit very quickly. And now it's just up to the light dragoons. Now I'm not sure if I am able to form square quickly enough. Yes, it looks like I'm trying to. Or I'm trying not to. I guess I wasn't able to form square in time. I'm not sure. It's hard to see in the trees. Maybe not, but maybe I thought that with the help of the hussars coming in that we'd be able to rout the light dragoons quickly enough. But here we go. Looks like we've got some lifeguard of horse moving forwards here, pressing the advantage on my weakened line. But I've got this unit of line infantry in square formation. And I've also charged in my general here as well to try and gain the upper hand. There we go. Very nice. But my lines are crumbling. Sweden is trying to help me as best he can. He's got his lifeguards of foot and his Jaegers over here to help out. Looks like he actually routed the Russian artillery, which was very helpful. Now he's sending his lifeguards of horse into this unit of musketeers. But a good volley from the musketeers beforehand managed to break them before they did too much damage. So it's quite a close battle. How are we looking up here? Oh, well done. Looks like a unit of musketeers over here. Hold on. Hold the phone. Yep, my general died over there. Looks like musketeers here are getting a really good flanking position on the lifeguards of foot. So the Red Celt does have them a little bit out of position. The rest of his army is way back here where they can't really offer any assistance to that unit. But I think he's going to try and charge them into melee. If they get into melee, he might be able to break the musketeers. I don't think they have too good of morale. And yes, if we're missing so much on the battlefield over here, but I managed to kill Denmark's general with my grenadiers that are in square. So with the light dragoons getting quite depleted, he tried to charge in his general to get rid of my last unit of grenadiers and died. So we both lost our general at this point in the battle. And over here, unfortunately, I moved my line infantry out of square to fire on this lifeguard of horse, and they just turned right around and came back. And once a unit of cavalry engages your line infantry, you can't form square, so it has to be that you notice it beforehand. Luckily, though, I am able to break it, so it's very close battle down here. Really close. I've only got a few more units of line infantry left, but here we go. We've got some musketeers charging my line infantry, And a good flanking maneuver by the lifeguard foot of Russia over here, easily cracking up my depleted unit of line. So I'm basically down to 3 units and my cannon now, so it's all up to Sweden, but the balance of power not looking too good. Looks like we got a couple units of line infantry from the trees that are focusing the lifeguard foot down. This cannon is getting wrecked, so it looks like Sweden is going to try and get it out of there if he can. And he's pushing up some more line infantry as well. Sweden, yeah, he's pretty much down to line infantry at this point. But Russia only has a unit of Russian Jaegers, some musketeers, his general a cannon, and, oh, he's got the mounted rifles over here as well. Yes, I forgot about them. And the musketeers over here cleaning up the rest of my units, which is really frustrating because I do lose a lot of my Napoleon battles. I was tryharding pretty hard in this battle, but fortunately I was not able to turn the tide. Really good play by Russia and Denmark to kind of work together to eliminate me, but I've got my... I've got my cannon on canister shot because these horses are very close. So let's see if we can get another shot in before they charge in. Doesn't look like it. Oh, that's too bad. So yeah, there we go. I lost my unit of cavalry. However, killed almost 20 men with one volley of canister shots. So well done to my artillery crew. They fought well. And we've got 12-pounder foot artillery over here moving forwards. So now the Red Celt is going to be focused down quite well by the Denmark and the Russian artillery. He's going to feel my pain in a few minutes. Looks like some of the Jaegers moving back. So yeah, it's all up to Sweden, but the balance of power is not looking too good. We've got some lifeguard foot actually charging in over here. Not sure if they're charging in or trying to readjust. I know the Russian Jaegers, at least, are trying to go after the 6-pounder horse artillery. But we've got some line infantry moving to engage. We've got the Swedish Jaegers also trying to get a good position to fire down. Unfortunately, they just take forever to reload. And that's pretty much given the chance for the lifeguards of foot of Russia to escape, or to get to a better position at least. Well done to this Swedish horse artillery, though, still bravely fighting the Russian Jaegers. Oh my goodness, yeah. This hilltop is just littered in bodies, and so is the valley below. You can see how much death and destruction has been caused by this battle today. One of my units over here did return this line infantry, and I wanted to try and go after the 2 units of 12-pounder foot artillery. So I'm going to try and get them over there because the Russians have now moved all their elite units to go after Sweden. Oh, yes, some big hits with the artillery. And Sweden here forming up back-to-back because he's got the musketeers flanking around on this side. And up over here, we've also got a brave charge from the musketeers. Or the lifeguard foot, my apologies. But I think that they're a little bit too depleted, the Russians, to be able to break them. Wow, very close hits there. And yeah, it looks like the Russians are starting to break. The lifeguard foot, though, may have the advantage. They are still a healthy unit, and they may be able to break this unit of line infantry. And what do we have coming up over here? We've got some mounted rifles flanking around, so that is not good for Sweden at all. Looks like they're going to fire right into the backs of the line infantry. Where are they firing at? Yeah, there we go. Looks like they're firing right into the back of the line infantry. Red Celt again having to form up front to back. And yeah, my unit of line infantry that had tried to go after this unit, they fired canister shot pretty much right into them. And there we go, they shattered. Which is really frustrating, because if I could get rid of Denmark's artillery, that's him out of the game. So it's kind of like it was a draw. But Lifeguard foot breaking over here, which is a good sign. So up here, the defense of the Russians is getting quite light. They still got these Russian Jaegers and their 10-pounder Unicorn. But we've got the Swedish general having to engage the mounted rifles, which is the 17 of the Swedish cavalry and 35 of the Russian cavalry. So I'm not sure if the Swedish general is going to come out of there alive. That is a pretty hard battle, being that he is outnumbered. Oh, hold, Swedes, hold. Yes, the Russian cavalry breaking there. Well done to the Swedish general. And that's just a general staff, too. Excellent work. So now that the cavalry is gone, there is still a hope. We've got some more Russian Jaegers charging in here against the Swedish Jaegers, but the line infantry is very close behind. And this poor unit of line infantry here, I would not want to be it. The artillery is just focusing it relentlessly. Like, hits, like, not even 3 or 4 feet in front of this unit. Wow, right by the screen. Whew. I'll have a listen back to this, and if I need to, I will decrease the volume settings for further Napoleon videos. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to play Napoleon Total War 3. I do have the mod installed, but I haven't really found time to play it lately, to be honest. These Russian Jaegers here surely would break against the line infantry, but the Denmark the Denmark artillery over here focusing down the Swedish infantry while they're in melee. And this line infantry is pretty much getting wrecked by these musketeers. We've got another unit of line infantry that's pretty healthy that's firing onto the flank of the musketeers, though, so that is quite good. And the Russian infantry there, the Jaegers, have broken, so that frees up another 2 units. Very close battle, guys. Like, this is coming down to a handful of men. Oh man, it's just the musketeers are getting so many good shots while the Swedish are trying to form up. And now the musketeers, I'm not sure, it looks like they may be charging, actually. Got the Russian Jaegers moving in. Not sure if they're going to get a few shots off before they charge in. Doesn't look like it. Come on, line infantry, get in there, get into melee. Got the general flanking around as well. Ooh, yeah, it looks like the Russians have switched to canister shot as well. Yeah, the Russian unit is trying to engage the last 2 units of Swedish infantry on this flank, and it looks like they are breaking. Balance of power going out of favor of the Swedish. Well, it's been out of favor of them for a while, but now it's looking pretty hopeless. He is charging this unit of 10-pounder Unicorn, but at point-blank range and using canister shot, it's just ripping them apart. And now we've got the general moving in as well, the general staff. So this is the Russian general. And we've got some musketeers flanking around as well. And there we go. It looks like friendly fire from the 10-pounder Unicorn actually killing the Russian general. So that is definitely not good. We've also got a charge from the general staff into the backs of the musketeers, but at just the last second, they were able to form square. And that is the last unit there, the general staff, and it has broken. So that's all it came down to, guys. We got 2 units from Denmark and 5 units from Russia. Very close battle there. Unfortunately, it is a defeat. I got more kills, though, which is good. Second in kills. But the Russian player playing very well. I brought the most men, but they were mostly, you know, cheaper. There's not, like I said, not a lot of to pick from the Netherlands. roster, but really nice to see some factions that aren't usually played, like England and France. Looking at my unit statistics, 153 from the lights, that's good. Grenadiers 126 with those grenades. 126 with the line infantry, 130. So yeah, I think that is it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this battle. Apologies that I don't get Napoleon Total War out too often. Like I said, it's just really not one that I play too much. But when we have epic battles like this, I have no problems in putting it up on my channel. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one.